Here again is the Sony PS-LX520 turntable. This is that linear tracking turntable I've been working on. You might remember from my last video about this turntable that it died rather mysteriously one day. The front panel logic, right there, quit working, and the turntable would kind of twitch in a strange way, like it was wandering around in the night, in a logical sense, I guess you could say. Well, I found out, at first I thought that the main filter capacitors on the power board had failed, so I replaced them, and that didn't bear fruit. And then I discovered, with the help of the service manual, that a little IC protector had actually opened on the circuit board. And at first I bridged it with a piece of wire just to confirm the thing was okay, and I ordered some IC protectors from a seller on eBay. Can you believe they charged me over $5 shipping for those? They put these in a first-class envelope with about $1.39 of actual postage, and they charged me over $5 shipping and gouging to get these little IC protectors here. I actually ordered more than one. They tacked on about 10 cents for each one that I ordered in terms of shipping and gouging. But now I've got some extras because they seem like they might be discontinued. They're certainly not on the Rome product website. That's the company that made them. They're a Japanese semiconductor company, which makes sense when you consider it's a Sony turntable. Anyway, a couple of people that I spoke to on other repair forums and people who used to work on turntables, they all said the same thing. That IC protector probably didn't blow without a reason, and if you're smart, you replace the other capacitors on the power board. And so that's what I have here, a big bag of assorted brand new capacitors. So this thing has been fully recapped inside and out. There's a new IC protector soldered in place. It's ready to roll once again. And so, to celebrate, I thought I'd just show you how it's working once again, although you've already seen it run once. Thought I would actually play a 45 RPM record so you can see how the auto size detection is handled by the turntable's logic. It's really quite slick. But there's a story behind these 45 RPM records that I have. Years ago, when I was in the 5th or 6th grade, somewhere between the ages of 10 and 12, I don't remember, I had a paper route like a lot of young people my age. And there were a lot of people on that paper route, and one of those people, they ran a radio station. They ran a small-town radio station, and one day, I don't remember all the details, but somehow they went bankrupt, and the station went off the air, and they had to clear out of the building for a while. They threw away tons of these. They threw away long playing records, of some of which I have, regular 33 1/3 RPM ones, but the majority of what they threw away were these 45 RPM records, these little singles. It was just amazing. They had a small one-story building, maybe about as long as the Roach Palace is. On one side of it they had records stacked up almost to the roof line. If a person had the place to put them, it probably would have been incredible. But as it is, we were just young kids, my brother and I, at the time, with a paper route, and we certainly didn't have any place to stash all those record albums. But we took 2 milk crates worth of them, and so all these years later, I still have my milk crate. I don't know whatever happened to his. Anyway, here's a 45 RPM record featuring Emmylou Harris singing her rendition of Mr. Sandman. This is kind of a cool record because it says on the record that she did all the vocals herself. So in other words, it's a multi-tracked record. She basically recorded each one, and one round would be my guess, and then they played all the tracks on the tape together at once to make it sound like there were a number of people singing. So we'll set the speed here, and I can only play this for a short little while because I'd rather not get in trouble with the copyright police. And this record could certainly attract them. This is a Warner Brothers record, and I hear they're kind of hard to get along with here on YouTube. But I'll tell you what, they pull a plug on this video, they're going to have a counterclaim made in the interest of fair use, because I think it's fair to demonstrate how I've repaired this turntable. And before I start that, talk about the linear tracking. The linear tracking at times on this thing still tended to screw up at times, especially toward the end of a record. It was easily 80% better than it had been when I brought it home. I mean, it didn't work at all. But it still struggled sometimes, and so I took the belt off the linear tracking motor and the pulley that leads to the rest of the mechanism. I pulled that out, and I discovered that it was a little bit glazed, so I actually ordered a replacement. And it turns out if you need to do the same for your Sony PS-LX520 turntable, that the belt you want should have 2.5 inches inner circumference. And that's the belt that I used, and the linear tracking operation is so much more reliable. The tone arm moves a lot more quickly, precisely, and smoothly, I would say. So it definitely needed that. But it looks like after all this work, this turntable is back on the road to good health and should be fine for a long time to come, especially with all those new capacitors. So let's put this record on, and you can see how the automatic size detection works. It shines a light, not a hole, through the slip mat, this light back here. And if it sees that light, then it knows the record is a short record as opposed to a conventional size. So here we go. Spins up, gets quartz lock. There goes the tone arm. Anyway, there you have it. I better shut that off. But that's how it works, and it seems to be in good health now. I just thought y'all might like to see an update. Now here's how the repeating logic works. This turntable, since it's fully automatic, it can repeat a record. When that setting is turned on, this is how it behaves. Which is pretty cool.